Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar series, where we will cover Boardwalktech. The company is listed on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol BWLK. My name is Corey Cohen of Virtus Advisory. I am joined today by my colleague Babak Pedram and, of course, the CEO of Boardwalktech, Mr. Andrew Duncan. We will take approximately 20 minutes to walk through the investor presentation and then open the floor for questions. With that, I will hand the call over to Mr. Andrew Duncan, the CEO of Boardwalktech.
Thank you, Corey. This is Andy Duncan. It's a pleasure for me to be here today and present Boardwalktech to you. Normal forward-looking statement. So Boardwalktech, we are a revolutionary platform for enterprise information management. We focus on large companies. We today have over 20 of the Fortune 500 as customers, companies like EY, Coca-Cola, Verizon Wireless, etc. We have built a patented cloud-based private permission digital ledger system that allows companies to plug this into their infrastructure and then begin to build applications to be able to solve everyday problems within the enterprise, whether that's in the supply chain, whether it's in finance. And we focus on collaboration and secure multi-party enterprise information exchange. We look at ourselves as kind of the new Bloomberg for enterprise information data, where we help companies pull data from multiple sources, whether that's their internal systems, whether that's externally coming in what's known as unstructured data that we'll get into in a little bit, and effectively a place, much like Bloomberg, where you can pull all of the data together at once and quickly aggregate that information that allows you to then to be able to make a decision and also share that information with your colleagues, with your customers, with your partners, with your suppliers. The company is headquartered in Silicon Valley. We also have operations in Mumbai, India. Our model is basically a SaaS or platform as a service model. Again, over 20 of the global and Fortune 500 as customers. Financially, we're doing, we're continuing to improve, 24% year-over-year increase in multi-year annual recurring licenses, and a pipeline that's grown 5x to over $7 million. We have a new sales force that we put in place when we completed our RTO and went public on the TSXV in June of 2018. From an operational standpoint, we run at a 85% positive gross margin, and currently we are improving on our EBITDA and are on the cusp of being EBITDA positive. Our patented digital ledger is a time-based platform that allows multiple parties to work at the same time, make changes on the data, all while preserving what we call the single version of the truth, without kind of mucking up the data in the process. So the way that I would like for you to think about this is, I've got emails coming in, I've got information from Oracle or SAP, I've got attached PDFs with purchase orders and invoices. I've got all this data coming at me. And how do I capture all of that data, understand what's happening with that data, and then be able to make decisions off of that data, both as myself as an individual within an enterprise, but also with my colleagues. And so Boardwalk and our patented digital ledger, as I stated before, kind of acts like the Bloomberg of information exchange and allows me to have a single point of pulling all of this data in, understanding what's happening with the data, make decisions quicker and better, and allows me to provide a lot of value for my enterprise. The Boardwalk solution is really critical to enterprises. We don't kick anybody out. We're not trying to replace any existing technology that's there. We look at ourselves as an additive part in the enterprise that is critical to them doing business. So when we sit down with a large organization and we say, tell us, where does it hurt the most of the time they will tell us that while they've spent billions of dollars on SAP and Oracle and Salesforce.com, they still get a tremendous amount of work done in Microsoft Excel. And Microsoft Excel happens to be a depository or a repository of information where they can pull data from different places, write formulas, share those spreadsheets back and forth, and then come to a decision. And the enterprise information worker doesn't have any other tool other than Microsoft Excel to act as that Bloomberg and pull all of this information together that then allows them to make faster, more rapid decisions. And that's what Boardwalk is all about. We just ran into an opportunity from a partner with a top 3 global bank in the world, and they told us that they have over 5,000 Microsoft Excel applications that are running that are not in compliance, and they need to get them into compliance. And moving those Excel spreadsheets in that bank over onto the Boardwalk platform, and not only securing those processes, but automating them, making them better, giving these information workers a place to be able to collaborate, share, and understand the data is going to be critical for this bank. And quite frankly, we see this across all enterprises today. There is a void in the enterprise with tools and with platforms that allow them to be able to understand the information and make fast decisions. And that's what Boardwalk is all about. Today, if you kind of take a look at this enterprise information throughout the world, about 80% of the data that an enterprise is dealing with is unstructured. So what is unstructured data? Well, it could be emails, it could be Instagram, it could be Facebook, it could be just plain a purchase order that's coming in through an attachment as an email. There is so much information that is flowing at these enterprises today that they literally cannot keep up. This IDC report talks about the fact that all data in existence today will have been created in the past 2 years. Think about data doubling in 2 years. What do you do with it? How do you get control of it? How does an enterprise understand that when someone in an Instagram account makes a mention of one of your products, like an influencer, that could immediately affect your sales? And if you don't have enough inventory in place to be able to meet that particular increase of sales, then you're going to lose sales, you're going to lose margin. So with Boardwalk, we capture all of this unstructured data. We marry it with the structured data that's within the enterprise, and we help companies through alerts, through AI, through machine learning, really get deep into the data and quickly understand what's happening in and around them so that they can make information decisions fast. Imagine if you had an influencer that was really touting your product and you had a 6-week lead time on a particular product, but if you could cut that lead time down to 4 weeks because you had information faster, you've now improved your opportunity to be able to make sales. And this is the key of how businesses are going to survive going forward. You must make rapid decisions, and those rapid decisions have to come from the information flow that's coming at you. And if you don't have a way of controlling the information flow, you are going to be left behind. Unstructured data is costly if it's not utilized. So again, as information comes in, how quickly can I get this information into my back-end systems? We had another use case where we've got a large company that was getting in about 80 purchase orders a day. Purchase orders happen to be unstructured data. There is no specific format of telling your customer, if you're going to submit a purchase order to me, it needs to be in my format. The customer is going to say, I don't care about your format. Here's a purchase order. Either fill the order or I'll go someplace else. And so this data comes in an unstructured manner. The Boardwalk system allows us to be able to take that unstructured data and automatically, without having to transform the data, convert it into an environment that allows us to then feed the order entry system of the large enterprise, like an SAP, like an Oracle. And if you can get a purchase order and that order entry into your system, whether it's hours faster or days faster, so someone doesn't have to go and rekey the data, they can literally, utilizing the Boardwalk system, suck in that purchase order and have it hit their Oracle order entry system immediately. If they can fulfill that order faster, that's faster revenue, that's faster margin, that's a happier customer. It's all about ways in which you're managing this unstructured data that's coming at you. So it goes beyond just an influencer saying, hey, your product is really cool and you think you're going to get a spike in sales. It has also a lot to do with all of this data flow, whether it's a PDF of a purchase order or HTML file or a Word or an Excel file. How fast can you assimilate that data and suck that data in so that you can then make a decision? That's what the future is all about enterprises being digital. So this is a great example here, this particular slide of what we see companies are dealing with. On the left-hand side here, you'll see spreadsheets. And you see master spreadsheet 1, 2, 3, 4. You see all of this email. You see basically chaos. You have PDF files coming in. You got Excel files. And this is what happens. These enterprises and these people that are working, these information workers, they literally will spend 2 or 3 hours of their day chasing who's got the last spreadsheet, who made the last update, who says that the value in cell number M21 is correct? Who made that change? Where did we get this inventory information? Where did we get this sales forecast information? Nobody knows because they don't have a system, kind of like Bloomberg, if you will, where you can tie it all together in a central point and be able to make sense of what's happening. On the right-hand side, this is the Boardwalk Digital Ledger. We pull data in strategically from the enterprise. We pull data in from all of the unstructured information flows that are coming at these different information workers, and we aggregate that data onto the digital ledger with a timestamp so that people can understand what's going on. So think of it as a central version of the truth. If it's in Boardwalk, I know where it came from, I know when it changed, I know what time it came in, and now I can marry that data with other information so that I can get back to my boss, or I can make a decision about this next thing that I need to make a decision about. No more chasing spreadsheets, no more trying to figure out who made changes. One central single version of the truth. And again, we're not overwriting anything that's already in existence. We're playing right alongside the Oracles, the SAPs, the Salesforce.coms, all of the other existing systems of record. We believe that every enterprise out there needs to have a Boardwalk Digital Ledger to help them manage all of this information that isn't being managed already in their systems of record. And about 80% of the data that's coming at them is unstructured data that's not being currently managed in the enterprise. It's a really great and it's a really big opportunity. So Boardwalk talks about the fact that we are the ecosystem of efficiency. We can pull structured data in from systems of record like Microsoft, Oracle, SAP, IBM, Salesforce, and then we can also pull in all of the unstructured data that these companies have no clue how to manage or how they're going to deal with it, and get this ecosystem of efficiency built within the Boardwalk Digital Ledger. And then off of that, we build applications with the customer to allow them to have better visualization, better machine learning, better AI, and allow them to make decisions and collaborate much faster. The Boardwalk network of words is an extension off of our current digital ledger technology that we've just recently introduced. We believe that this is going to be a paradigm shift in the way in which enterprises manage unstructured data. As an example here on this slide, if you have an insurance claims adjuster that is trying to manage a claim, they can pull structured data from their back-end systems, which would be coming off of the policy, like Who's the rated driver? What was the location of a loss? But unstructured data that's coming in, as an example, might be a police report or a chiropractor bill or a body shop bill. And how do you take that and get it into your back-end system so that you can then marry it with the other data and then make sense of actually getting this claim file? Boardwalk has built systems today utilizing network of words and our digital ledger technology that allows us to be able to pull in something like a police report that is unstructured, marry the information in that police report, like a driver's name, with the rated driver list in the structured data of the policy that's sitting in the back end of the insurance company, and come up with with differences or anomalies, is saying, wait a minute, we've got a driver that was in an accident, that was driving one of these trucks, but they actually were not listed on the policy. Do we need to pay the claim or not? And this is something that would take someone a while to dig through, where we can automatically do that. Other examples is pharma shipments, of being able to do track and trace of all of the unstructured information that's coming in around what's happening with these pharma shipments. And then the consumer electronics example, where I talked about the fact that you can print the current method is print a PO that comes into a orders at xyzcompany.com, and they print a PO, and then a clerk sits there for 45 minutes and has to key the purchase order into their Oracle entry or SAP order entry system. And they're making mistakes, and they get interrupted, and they got to go take a break. With Boardwalk, we can automatically take that PDF purchase order, and without a human touching it, move it right into the back-end order entry system, reducing errors, making it quicker, and providing a fast way to be able to fill that order. This is an example of some of the customers that we have today. We're awfully proud of the long-term relationships that we have with, again, companies like Coca-Cola and Ernst & Young and Apple Computer, Qualcomm, that's been a customer now for 8 or 9 years. Mars as the #1 company in the world for both confectionery and pet food manufacturing. So a wide swath, if you will, of customers really focused across insurance, tax, technology, manufacturing, CPG. Our application and platform can be deployed anywhere where you've got a large number of users and you've got a large amount of data that is flowing across the enterprise. And it basically captures every single type of business that's out there. Of course, the larger the business, the easier for us, because there's so much more information flow. Our clients today are using our technology for various things. If you look at Aeon, which is a large insurance company, we manage some policy renewal management applications for them. Ernst & Young, we do tax planning management. Coca-Cola, trade promotion and trade procurement spend. Heineken for financial planning and analysis, Verizon for supply chain, and HCL for actually deal pricing and promotion. Very kind of unique, but yet these were all applications that were being done manually, mostly in Microsoft Excel, where we automated these systems and created a lot of value. As an example, we have an apparel client today. And if you look at these boxes, the ones in kind of dark blue are applications that we've built out for this particular client that's running on the Boardwalk digital ledger. The ones in white, we still are building out, and we're in the process of being able to do that. But, and so there's a wide use case across various different types of applications and problems that the enterprise is trying to solve utilizing the Boardwalk digital ledger platform. Our strategy is we get into a client, we create success with one of these applications, and then we land and expand and continue to cross and build revenue and recurring license revenue as we work with these clients to continue to solve problems. This particular client, first year savings was $1.3 million, it created a 5x ROI. And, again, you go into the enterprise and you're talking about a 5x ROI. It's pretty significant. This is another use case on one of our clients on Semiconductor. They're a large semiconductor manufacturer based in Arizona. They get in approximately 25 to 30 RFQs a day. And before Boardwalk, they would manage all of these RFPs in a manual way, and mostly in Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. And they would email these spreadsheets to different departments saying, what's your pricing on this part? What's your timing on this? Can we get this done? What was our margin last year? All or last order, all those types of things. And what we were able to do by automating this application for them in about 6 weeks was to be able to reduce their response time. And when you get in an RFP or an RFQ, if you can reduce the response time, you've got a higher percentage of chance of winning a deal. And what's happened is that on Semi, because they're actually responding to this RFPs and RFQs faster, they're actually seeing an increase in sales conversion, which is delivering them a 6x ROI. And we continue to expand this particular application to touch even more points within on Semi, which we're very excited about. And so this is a terrific example of automating a manual process that was managed in spreadsheets into the Boardwalk digital ledger. Our growth continues to be, pretty good. Our retention are spectacular, actually. Our retention rate is very high. Once we get into a company, it's very sticky. Our user growth continues to grow very nicely, and our transaction CAGR is about 20%. So you'll see that we measure information based upon number of sales managed transactions and users, and we're seeing really nice growth, both organically and with new customers that we're bringing in. Financial highlights of the company: we've got about 3.8 million today of recurring annual revenue. Our pipeline currently is sitting at over $7 million. We expect to continue to increase that annual recurring revenue into next year and the year after. We're extremely focused on annual recurring revenue and how do we continue to build that. Our year-over-year EBITDA improvement is 20%, so we continue to drive toward becoming an EBITDA positive company, which we think is going to happen quite soon. Gross margins, again, software, enterprise software, SaaS model, 85% plus gross margins. And you can see that our license growth and our billings growth continue to grow as we kind of move into the next few quarters of our business. Our business model is, again, we've got direct salespeople that we will use. We drive kind of in a traditional model. We will drive leads that come through various sources, whether that's direct calling a customer or a prospect, whether that's a webinar, whether that's doing a trade show, which of course with the COVID we're not doing right now. But we also do a lot of social media and really reach out to these companies to try and get them interested in specific things. And we're very surgical about how we go about this. So once we do that, we've got marketing people that will validate a lead that then goes to our salespeople, and we're often running with a conversation to say, how can we help you with this particular area? Once we get them kind of hooked into that area, then we look at and we just put our arms around every one of these customers, and we just love them and we grow them, and we say, where can we go next? Let's go to supply chain, let's go to finance, let's go into these next areas. So we've got this method of, once we get a new customer, we land and expand in there by growing more applications with deeper penetration. And then, of course, we're also bringing on new customers. And we're also seeing a nice increase in our pricing, especially as we're adding new features and capabilities, including the network of words that will be managing this unstructured data and information. Our capital structure, as you can see, our market cap is about $10 million. We've got about 21 million shares outstanding. We're in a good position with regard to a cash balance. We do have some debt on the books. That debt is in a current amortization over another 24-month period. And since we went public in June of 2018, we've actually been able to work that debt down in a combination of pay downs and conversions and normal payments from little over 7 million down to what it is today. Management's got a pretty sizable percentage of the company, so of course we're very focused and very dedicated to the success of Boardwalktech. Our executive team, again, very senior people in Silicon Valley that have been there, done that before. This happens to be my 5th company. 3 of the previous companies that I built were sold successfully. 1 didn't make it. Of course, you learn a lot from, you probably learn the most from the one that didn't make it versus the ones that did. But again, very senior management team, very focused, very dedicated, and again, we've been there, done that. Again, as a kind of a highlight, we have a unique, patented, sustainable, and competitive platform solution. We hook right into any environment within the enterprise, so it's fast for us to actually deploy the platform in the cloud and also implement applications for them. We really look for enterprises that are seeking solutions to increase productivity and create a competitive edge. We're very sticky, very proud of the number of large customers that we have today that have bet on Boardwalk, which is just terrific. We're seeing, again, growing recurring revenue in our SaaS and platform as a service model, growing pipeline, high margins, and really, I think, a significant operational leverage as we go forward. So, we love to talk about information, and information can be of great value, but only if it's accessible. And, unless companies really understand and first determine data access quality, they really can't digitize that information. And this is what Boardwalk is all about. How do we help you, Mr. Enterprise, get your arms around all of the data that's flowing at you, both unstructured and structured, so that you can make timely, faster decisions? We think every enterprise is going to want Boardwalktech, is going to need Boardwalktech in order to remain competitive. So that is the end of my presentation, and I'd be very happy to take any questions that you may have.
Great. Thank you so much, Andy. Our first question asks if you could talk a little bit about how COVID has affected our business. Has this impacted the sales pipeline at all?
Sure. Again, I don't think that it would be, I wouldn't be realistic if I didn't say that it hasn't had an effect. COVID has definitely had an effect on us, but that effect is kind of 2 ways. One is that, as companies are working much more remotely, there is a real need to be able to collaborate and share information at a higher level. Boardwalk does that today. And so as we're seeing companies really start to reevaluate how they connect people in the field, how you collaborate, how you manage information, there's a big benefit for us of being able to leverage that and the need for companies to be able to get that done. That's the positive side. On the negative side, we do have deals that are in our pipeline. While they haven't gone away, they have delayed, or it's just been harder to get deals signed because getting people together to do security audits or to do contract reviews and just to do normal business of getting stuff done has proven a bit of a challenge in this COVID world. But again, we're not losing anybody. It's just a matter of us pushing and executing to be able to get this done and getting the right bandwidth from these customers.
Great, thank you. That leads well into our next question, which asks if work from home policies have created a sense of urgency for both our existing clients and prospective clients to actually implement a system like Boardwalk.
Yeah, we're certainly seeing, Corey, an increase in the number of transactions that are happening again because people are home and they're needing to collaborate more. So the answer is yes, we are definitely seeing an increase in kind of the need for the solution, and also both from existing customers where they are expanding, and also new customers that want to adopt a single version of the truth, private permission digital ledger platform that allows them to get much better and easier information so that they can make decisions faster.
Excellent, thank you. Our next question asks, what kind of catalysts can we expect out of the company over the remainder of this year and heading into 2021?
Well, we're kind of old-fashioned guys. We are heads down, working with regard to executing on our mission and our plan. Our mission is that we want to be in every single enterprise that's out there, especially large enterprises. Again, we don't try and come in and replace anything. What we say is you have all of this unstructured data that's coming at you. You need to marry that unstructured data with your structured data that will allow your employees to make faster decisions. So we are going to continue to execute on two different areas. One is bringing in new customers and continuing to wave the flag with anybody that will talk to us that's in our vertical markets about the value proposition and what we can deliver to them. And then we continue to work tirelessly with our existing customers, where we are continuing to expand our footprint within those customers by bringing on new applications, bringing on new users, and increasing the the recurring revenue that we've got from them. All of this with the drive to getting to EBITDA positive, and really continuing just our growth of the company, so that we can really continue the success that we've started over the past 2 years.
Excellent, thank you. The next question asks if you could expand a little bit more on the outstanding debt. Is management comfortable with the current level of debt? And even if so, would there be any plans to replace that debt?
Sure. So yes, as we described on our on our kind of cap table, their summary there, we do have debt. We use that debt as a method of being able to help to fund to grow the company, as an effort to try and maintain as much equity in the company as we can. Do we wish we didn't have any debt? Yep. Have we worked really hard to continue to drive that debt down? Yes, we have. And we are continuing to look for different ways in working with our debt partner, SQN, who's been great, to not only continue to reduce that debt, but we also are looking at always at various options of being able to replace that debt with maybe another debt holder, or another instrument that would help to improve the current contract that we have in place with regard to that debt. But we are on a several year amortization schedule right now, and we continue to work very well with our debt holder, SQN.
Very good, thank you. Our final question asks us to expand a little bit on the sales strategy that you had mentioned earlier. You had said that we do have a direct sales force. Are there any channel partner strategies in place? And if not, any intention of expanding that type of approach?
Yeah, Corey, that's a great question. We do have a couple of strategic partners that are in place that actually have resold the Boardwalk application, including companies like Accenture and also HCL. We're enthusiastic about the partner model. We actually have a significant deal that we're working on right now with one of those partners that could be really terrific for both Boardwalk, the customer, and that particular partner. We will continue to strategically expand our relationships with partners. I'm one of those kind of old-fashioned guys that I believe that you need to figure out how to sell it yourself before you go and try and teach somebody else how to sell it for you. We just are kind of starting and I'm getting comfortable with the fact that with the growth that we've had, with the pipeline expansion that we've had, with some of the deals that we're closing now, that we've got a really good model in place that we can then go and start to expand our channel environment with kind of hand-picked strategic partners that will allow us to be able to grow through partnerships. But I believe that we will continue to have both a partner strategy and a direct sales strategy as we continue to roll this out.
Fantastic. Well, that's all the time we have for today. So, Andy, thank you very much for chatting with us. And on that note, I will leave it with you to provide us with some closing remarks.
Good, Corey. Thank you very much for the great interview. I appreciate the opportunity to provide a summary of Boardwalk. I'm an open book. I'm happy to talk to anybody at any time. You can feel free to reach out to me at andy.duncan@boardwalktech.com, or you can connect through Corey or Babak at any time if you'd like to learn more or get into a one-on-one discussion with regard to the company. It's a great company. We've got a great future, and I sincerely appreciate you, being on this and video and spending your valuable time learning about Boardwalktech. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy.